I would like to welcome all the respected gallantries from the bottom of the heart, and I would like to request the students to start the event.
Thank you, sir. मैंने सुना है देश सीमा पर कुछ शेर बैठे हैं, फिर याद आया ये तो अपने शूर सैनिक ऐठे हैं। दहाड़ते हैं, संभालते हैं, नजर है उनकी करारी, देश की रक्षा करने चल पड़ी है उनकी सवारी। त्याग करके प्राण हार के होते ना कभी वो दुखी, सब कुछ पीछे छोड़कर देशवासियों को रखते हैं वो सुखी।
आज न कोई आने देते वो अपनी भारत माँ पर, जब तक है जान में जान उनकी तब तक हम सब हैं निडर। विजयी तिरंगा हाथ लेकर वो शान से लहराएंगे, कभी कभी तिरंगे में लिपट कर वो वापस घर आएंगे। मैंने सुना है देश सीमा पर कुछ शेर बैठे हैं, फिर याद आया ये तो अपने शूर सैनिक बैठे हैं। A heart-touching yet inspiring poem by Rutika Galbali. Namaste and a very good morning to one and all present here. We have gathered here to be a part of the webinar on Platinum Jubilee of Independence Day and Defence Forces, Evolution, Achievement and Future, organized by Nalanda Dance Research Center's Nalanda Nrityakala Mahavidyalaya DLLE unit, in association with Department of Lifelong Learnings and Extension, University of Mumbai. I, Ms. Devika Rao and Vaishnavi Gaure would wholeheartedly like to welcome our chief guest, respected Dr. Baliram Gaikwad Sir, Registrar, Mumbai University, and respected Dr. Dilip Patil Sir, the Coordinator, Department of DLLE, University of Mumbai. Our special invitees, respected Colonel P.S. Ganapathi Sir, Mahavidyalaya, respected Colonel Ashok Tara Sir, Veer Chakra, and respected Veer Nari Rekha Singh Ma'am, widow of Naik Deepak Singh, Veer Chakra. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our guest of honor for today, respected Colonel Vardhan Sharma Sir, the Vice President Veteran of India, and our beloved Principal Ma'am, respected Dr. Umari. I also welcome our respected faculty members and fellow companions. We are very fortunate to hear from the respected Chief Guest Dr. Baliram Gaikwad Sir, special guest respected Dr. Dilip Patil Sir, respected Colonel P.S. Ganapathi Sir, respected Veer Nari Rekha Singh Ma'am, guest of honor and keynote speaker for today's webinar, respected Colonel Vardhan Sharma Sir, and our principal, respected Dr. Umari Ma'am.
DLLE always strives to achieve greater heights and develop relationships. Since 2021 marks 75th year of Indian independence, DLLE unit of Nalanda Nrityakala Mahavidyalaya has decided to celebrate this occasion in a unique manner. We would like to recognize the efforts taken towards the evolution, achievement, future of Defence Forces. It is our immense pleasure to understand the evolution of Indian Defence Forces since its initiation. Being the students of Indian classical dance at Nalanda Nrityakala Mahavidyalaya, we have been educated with various elements of dancing, with defense being one of them. In order to have a better insight of this element, we would like to learn more about discipline, dedication, and devotion through defense forces who are epitome of this quality mentioned. Thus, we are grateful to have these heroes among us who have played a significant role in the Indian Defence Forces. Also, we would like to take this opportunity to thank those heroes as well who have given their life and blood for the country and are not among us. Nalanda Nrityakala Mahavidyalaya and DLLE are extremely glad to consider themselves fortunate enough to hear from the respected dignitaries. Before moving further, I would like to request everyone to kindly keep their videos on. Also, if you come up with any questions during the session, please contact through WhatsApp the same to Simran Cherial and Vaishnavi Pillai. So without further ado, I would like to request Poonam Di to introduce our respected Rele Ma'am, our respected Principal Dr. Rele Ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Namaste to all. It is such an honor to introduce today's event head, Dr. Srimati Rele Ma'am, Principal of Nalanda Nrityakala Mahavidyalaya, Mumbai. She has completed her BA in Economics and Political Science, as well as Bachelor and Masters in Performing Arts from University of Mumbai. Madam also been awarded with PhD in Performing Arts. She is also recognized PhD guide in Mumbai University. She has been on the panel of Board of Studies in Dance, Research and Recognition Committee and various committees of University of Mumbai. She has also acted as field team member of Naik committee. She has presented a lecture on Naik and its parallels in painting, sculpture, music and dance, organized by Museum Society of Mumbai and Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya. She was on the panel of Naik conference on Indian Cultural and Communication Traditions, organized by Humanities and Liberal Arts Department of Ravindranath Tagore University, in which she has given a speech on Indian conceptual terminology and communication. Dr. Rele Ma'am is awarded with Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Nobel Award, presented by Reliable Educational Society, Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. She has also been awarded with Honorable Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Bharat Puraskar for Indian dance by Made in India Swadeshi Runway, supported by Government of Maharashtra. She has been providing her support constantly for every activity held in college. Thank you so much for being there for us, ma'am. I would request Uma ma'am to speak few words.
Namaste, good morning everyone, and thank you so much Poonam for beautifully introducing me. I feel very humbled, but I am today nothing in front of these stars who are with us today, and decorating our stage just as they wear decorations on their सिंह जैसी छाती पे जैसे वो decorations पहनते हैं, वैसे आज this is our stage. I wish this was an offline event and we would have seen them in flesh and person, and we would have experienced the feeling of that power and energy that they that they enthuse out, and that would have been a great time. But nevertheless, let us be happy in whatever we are doing, our best. First of all, I would like to thank Chief Guest Dr. Baliram Gaikwad Sir, Registrar University of Mumbai, as our come as a chief guest for today's event. Our special guest, Dr. Dilip Patil, Coordinator DLLE. Our special invitees, Colonel P.S. Ganapathi, Colonel Tara, special invitees, Veer, Nari, Rekha, Singh, and of course our very own friend now, guest of honor, Colonel Vardhan Sharma. I would also thank you, sir, so much. I would like to congratulate first our university registrar, sir, Dr. Baliram Gaikwad, and Dr. Dilip Patil. Our university has just secured A grade, A++ at NAC, and it's a great thing, we all know. So, sir, congratulations to you and your team. And we are also
thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We are also awaiting our NAC committee, and so those goosebumps are always there till that whole process gets over. So with this, yes, it is a wonderful feeling, sir, Dr. Vijay Patil, who has been coordinator DLLE from Nalanda, who has come up with this wonderful idea, sir. I don't have any words. Sometimes I'm so short of words, I don't know what to speak. Because at the end of the day, we don't use our vachika in dance, and that is why sometimes we are short. At least I'm short of words, I would say that. But I am always my, right now, I'm so full of emotions because कहीं ना कहीं मैं भी एक आर्मी परिवार से जुड़ी हुई हूँ. My two brothers are in army. One is retired Colonel Dhiren Nanavati, and one is right now active as Brigadier Hiren Desai. I'm so proud to be a part of this family, and I know how it is to have, your own sibling in the army, and the pride that you get when they wear uniform and they are there around you. And I mean, that is what I'm feeling right now also when I'm seeing all of you with us, sir. And I have no, as I said, I have no words. I'm completely short of words. But whatever I want to convey to our children, the students today, I mean, we try to instill so many things. One is pride in our country, pride in our culture, pride in our own history, pride in our own army, our soldier, our defense forces, pride in everything that is Indian. And that is what we try to inculcate. And we wish that our children understand this. That is what we are trying to do in our own small measure. But this is what I would like. But I would like to reiterate the song of 1962, after the 1962 war, written by Pradeep ji, given music by C. Ramchandra. It's a very popular song, but only those few lines will touch my heart every time. There was a time when every 15th August and 26th January, गलियों में गाने सुनाए देते थे. Unfortunately, आज ये नहीं हो रहा है. तो हम अपनी तरफ से जो भी छोटी कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वो हम कर तो रहे हैं. I'm sure we are trying. We are getting somewhere. But yes, I would like to sing those few lines and end my feelings. That's what I'm trying to say. In the beginning, those 4 lines, and I'm just going to end at that because I don't know what to say beyond this. ऐ मेरे वतन के लोगों, तुम खूब लगा लो नारा, ये शुभ दिन है हम सबका, लहरा लो तिरंगा प्यारा, पर मत भूलो सीमा पर जिन्होंने प्राण गवाए, कुछ याद उन्हें भी कर लो, कुछ याद भी कर लो, जो लौट के फिर न आए, जो लौट के फिर न आए. ऐ मेरे वतन के लोगों, जरा आँख में भर लो पानी, जो शहीद हुए हैं उनकी जरा कुर्बानी. It's an evergreen song. I always. We are happy that we are having the people who have been there and who have experienced lot of stuff for our country and taken care of all of us indirectly. Thank you, everyone. I think today is everybody's day and not mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind and humble words and even your soothing voice. It was very beautiful listening to you. Now I would request Devika Rao to introduce our respected Dr. Baliram Gaikwad, sir.
Thank you, Vaishnavi. Namaste. I am profusely overjoyed to take the opportunity to introduce our chief guest of the day, respected Dr. Baliram Gaikwad Sir, who is in charge Registrar of University of Mumbai. He is the member Board of Studies in English at University of Mumbai, SNDT University Mumbai, Mithibai College, Druria College, and Ferguson College, Pune. Dr. Baliram Gaikwad Sir has received postdoctorate, Fulbright Postdoctoral Fellowship, University of Florida, USA, and PhD in English from Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University. He has contributed to literature by publishing books like Representation of Femininity Society in Identity and Literature, Socio-Political and Cultural Discourse, Women, Literature and Struggle, and 2 other books. Sir has received multiple accolades and recognition. He was awarded the Fulbright Nehru Postdoctoral Research Fellowship in the area of comparative literature from the University of Florida, USA for the year 2012-13. He has also performed extensive research in the field of literature. He holds multiple positions such as Vice Principal of Degree College, Coordinator of NUSSD, District Coordinator of 50th Youth Festival of Mumbai University, Head Department of English, Coordinator for Remedial Coaching Center, and Coordinator of Teach India program. He has organized a number of seminars and conferences and has also delivered 10 guest lectures in the USA. I am glad to have such an accomplished individual amongst us and would like to humbly request Sir to enlighten us with your words. Thank you.
Hello everyone, very good morning. I'm sorry that there are some technical errors over here. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizers, the Nalanda Dance Research Center, for organizing this wonderful function today. Friends, I myself have been associated with the NCC activities for a long time, and my association with the NCC as well as some of my family members being directly in Indian military has given me access to understand the life sacrifices and the kind of commitment with which Indian soldiers have brought this country and created this country. And it is with this sense of gratitude and respect I would like to say a few words today. But before that, I must thank the college for inviting me. I would also like to thank my friend Dr. Vijay Patil Sir for inviting me for this unique activity today. In fact, it is our responsibility to have this kind of a program. It's our moral duty to celebrate and always to express our gratitude for all those who have greater commitment and sacrifice for the sake of our country. Friends, this platinum jubilee of Indian independence and defense forces evolution, achievement in future is such kind of one unique activity. I must congratulate for thinking it's so unique and very exclusive format, because I see initially I couldn't connect with an idea that a dance academy thinking something about celebrating this platinum jubilee of Indian independence and what exactly is the connect between dance and this defense forces. I was thinking about it, and when I learned more about it, really understood the significance and also the inherent connect between these things. On this occasion, we have a guest of honor, our keynote speaker, Vardhan Sharma ji, Colonel P.S. Ganapathi ji, special invitees, Veer, Rekha Singh ji, as well as colleague Dr. Dilip Patil Sir, as well as special invitee Colonel ji. When I learned about the greater amount of commitment and the exemplary work that you all dignitaries have done. I feel that what you've done for our nation, what you've done for India, we all owe you a greater deed and a greater amount of things that you've done for us. We are very, very thankful to you, sir, for the exemplary things that you've done for us. Entire country is proud of you, and we are always indebted to you by the commitment that you have shown, and you have taught us what the sacrifice is, how the life to be lived for our country. Country first is the soul, and is the slogan that you all are cherishing, and you're teaching this kind of a great teaching to all of us. And so personally, I owe you a lot. I express my thanks to you, because my brother-in-law is also military personnel, and I understand that how Indian soldiers work. Valor and sacrifice is kind of a commitment, is the kind of a thing that they always show in their character. Fidelity, honor, and courage is always involved in their personality. Integrity, honesty, and discipline is what makes one Indian soldier. Determination and non-discrimination and comradeship are the things that we always get to see get exhibited in different kind of actions of military personnel. I think these all have teachings are most important to all of us. So all those who are involved here in today's program, I once again express my great thanks to all of you. And thank you very much. I really look forward to learn and listen from all of you. Thank you, all the organizers of this event, for inviting me for this occasion. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. I would request Simran to present the screen further.
रातों को हम सभी चैन से सोते हैं, कुछ लोगों के जान हथेली पर होते हैं। ना वो हमारे अपने हैं, ना तो सगे हैं, पर धूप हो ठंड, दिन रात वो जगे हैं। देश की रक्षा को उन्होंने घर का त्याग किया। इस देश की मिट्टी को माना माता, देशवासियों से है प्यार किया। चाहे कितनी भी परेशानियां हो, ये हंसते हंसते सब सह लेते हैं। जब करते अकेला महसूस तो भारत माता की जय कह लेते हैं। याद उन्हें भी आती है अपने घर की, कभी आंखों से आंसू भी छलक जाते हैं, पर हर बार पसीने का बहाना करके वे पिघले दिल को पत्थर कर जाते हैं। हाथों में बंदूक होते इनके, तिरंगे में बसी इनकी जान है। फौलादी होते इनके इरादे, ऐसे हमारे देश के जवान हैं। जब बात लड़ाई की आती है, तब ये दिल डरता है। मैं भी अकेला बैठा रोता हूँ, जब देश अपना कोई जवान खोता है। देश के खातिर अब खुद के प्राणों का त्याग कर देते हो, हमें छोड़ जाते अकेला और कर्जदार कर देते हो। धन्य वो माता जिनकी कोख ने आप सा वीर जन्म दिया। हो धन्य वो पिता जिन्होंने देश की सेवा में अपना बेटा कुर्बान किया। आंखों में आंसू होते उनके, पर फख्र से सीना चौड़ा होता है। जब तिरंगे से लिपटे आते तुम, भारत माँ का दिल भी रोता है। देश की वीरों, आपका कल्याण हो, आप ही इस देश की शान हो दुश्मन का नाश, आप सभी को मेरा सत सत प्रणाम हो।
I'm just speechless after this. But anyway, I have to take the responsibility and take the event ahead. I would like to come to the event now. My association with Colonel Sharma sir started last year only. When I was requesting him to finalize the theme of the event, it was Colonel Sharma sir who told me, sir, Abhi, we are celebrating Platinum Jubilee of Indian independence. Why can't we think about the evolution, achievements, and future of Indian defense? And then we'll connect all these things to our dance learning. Sir, thanks a lot. It's such a nice topic for this webinar. I'm really happy that I got through this fatherly figure.
Thank you, sir. I would like Simran to take forward today's webinar.
Thank you, Dee. Namaste to one and all present here. It is a matter of great pride for us to celebrate the victories of our armed forces in the past 75 years. But it is so much more to those who have lived its reality. The strength and gallantry that our soldiers and their families demonstrate cannot be put to words. We have two such brave souls amidst us today. With immense pleasure, I would like to introduce our first special invitee of the day, Colonel P.S. Ganapathi Mahavidyalaya. Colonel P.S. Ganapathi Sir completed his primary and secondary education from Government High School of Napoklu and Madikeri, Karnataka, respectively, post which he pursued his degree from Government College, Madikeri. He had a keen interest in NCC right from his school days, and it was an obvious but a brave decision when he decided to join the army. After 10 months of training at the Officers Training School, Madras, Ganapathi Sir was commissioned to the Maha Regiment of Infantry in the year 1968, and for the next 28 years, he served in various places like Nagaland, Sikkim, West Bengal, Himachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Punjab, Karnataka, etc. Colonel Ganapathi Sir's posting in Sri Lanka as a part of the Indian peacekeeping force that fought against the LTTE was definitely a high point in his career graph. He was in the first batch of the peacekeeping force that was airlifted to Jaffna, where he was in charge of a 60-member unit to clear LTT militants from the regions of Marutanamadam and Anaikote. With ammunitions to help them only for 12 hours, Colonel Ganapathi Sir and his unit ended up fighting relentlessly for 72 hours while they waited for the support team to arrive. Ganapathi Sir was awarded the Mahavir Chakra for displaying exemplary courage and determination during the battle and for boosting the morale of his troops against overwhelming odds. With a sense of pride and honor, I welcome Colonel P.S. Ganapathi Mahavir Chakra Sir to speak a few words.
Jai Hind, Nalanda Nrityakala Mahavidyalaya के प्रिंसिपल श्रीमती उमा रिले जी, चीफ गेस्ट बलिराम गायकवाड,
सर, जय हिंद सर,
जय हिंद, कर्नल हर्ष, डॉक्टर दिलीप पाटिल, वीर नारी श्रीमती रेखा सिंह, आपको मेरे शत शत नमन, और नायक दीपक सिंह वीर को मेरा शत शत नमन। कर्नल कोत, फील्ड कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर विजय पाटिल और इस कार्यक्रम में हिस्सा लेने वाले तमाम एग्जीक्यूटिव्स को मेरा प्रणाम। मैं कर्नल गणपति, जैसे मेरे इंट्रोडक्शन में आपको बता दिया गया है, मेरा कैरियर का हाई ग्राफ था।
Ganapathi sir, sorry to interrupt you, sir. If you wish, you can kindly speak in English.
Yeah, I'll do that, no problem. I was prepared for both, no problem. So, as already been introduced, now I don't go into that part. I'll first come into Sri Lankan operation. Like it has been told, it was mentioned, our party, our battalion, 8 Mahar, was the first batch to be airlifted to Sri Lanka. That is on 30th July 1987. Our role in Sri Lanka was to establish peace. The fighting that was going on between Singh's army and LTT militants. So we were there for from July 87 till about March, April 89. During that time, though we had gone for establishing the peace, finally we ended up fighting the LTTE. Now it was the irony of the matter. President Jayawardene and our Prime Minister Sri Rajiv Gandhi, they had got into agreement, and mostly the LTT head was not taken into confidence. So, though we tried our best to convince LTT personnel to lay down the arms, they refused to do so, and they kept fooling around. When our efforts for getting them to lay down the arms for 2 months failed, then we had to come to the actual battle. Desha, like a great Chanakya has mentioned, Samadhan Danda Ved. Sam khatam ho gaya, dan ho gaya, Ved bhi nahi hua. So finally we had to dand. So most of the army forces, Indian army forces, were located in Kankesanturai or Palali airfield. Jaffna town was the stronghold of LTT militants. Somehow or other we had to get hold of this Jaffna to get control of the peninsula and stopping the war. So my battalion moved from Kankesanturai, that is northern part of Jaffna Peninsula, to Jaffna, which is the southern part of Jaffna, through the coastal road. Having arrived at 3 miles short of Jaffna town, we were stopped and I was directed by my commanding officer, Colonel B.S. Rati, to advance towards Jaffna with my company leading, that is Delta Company of 8 Mahar. And I came to my company, started briefing the men, and within the next 15 minutes, Colonel Rati again called me back and said, now, plan is changed, we are going to stay put there, you are not yet was into Jaffna. So, at milestone 3 location, that is 3 miles short of Jaffna, we deployed ourselves and we took tactical position. Throughout the day, 12th, we were fired upon by the militants from the village side, from inside the house, etc. And we equally retaliated and subdued their fire efforts. Towards the night on 12th, we were asked to move to a place called Woodville, that is in the main middle portion of Jaffna Peninsula. We arrived at Woodville the following morning, that is 13th morning, by about 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and again Colonel Rati called me up and asked me to advance towards Marutana Madam. This is the place between Kankesanturai and Jaffna town, a prominent junction which was held strongly by the LGT militants. So my company advanced with over the cockaflay leading in the point section. As we advanced for about 1.5 kilometers, we were fired upon from the opposite side, from the Marthamadam junction side. Immediately, we hit the ground, put ourselves under cover, and observed the source of fire from where we are being fired upon. Having located that, I made my plan and briefed my troops accordingly, my platoon commanders and the men. So, we divided ourselves into small little parties of 5 to 10 people and advanced on both sides of the road. We had to move along the road, clearing each of the single house from where the LTT militants were bringing down fire on us. We had to approach the house, encircle the house, load the grenade and drop it inside the house. So what happens when the explosion takes place? Either they get terminated or they run away from there if they are lucky enough. In this manner, we advanced slowly, and our cockaflay was leading the point section. He was fired upon and was hit on his left shoulder and started bleeding profusely. That was the first casualty. But unmindful of his wounds, he still advanced further, and on both sides, troops were advancing. By about 11 o'clock, another burst or improvised explosive device which was placed on the wall alongside the road exploded, and his right thigh was severely hit and heavy bleeding was there. So he was immobilized, he could not move forward. His place was taken by another non-commissioned officer and the advance continued. By about 12:30, we reached Marthamadam, cleared all the militants, and we occupied the place. The Marthamadam junction was in our control, and the troops from Palali, Kankesunturai could move by road axis through the Marthamadam junction towards Kankesunturai, towards Jaffna. And accordingly, I conveyed the success message to my battalion commander, Colonel B.S. Rati. I stayed in that position for 2 days, till 15th night. 15th evening about 5 p.m. Colonel Rati informed me that a company of Madras regiment is coming to relieve me from Maruthanam, and I was to report back to Jubilee. Accordingly, I handed over the place to the company commander of Madras Battalion, and I moved with my men to Jubilee. We reached Jubilee by about 12 in the midnight, and I was briefed by the commanding officer that immediately I should advance towards Naikwad. Naikwad is that place that is 3 miles short of Jaffna. I had to go back again to the place which we had occupied during the 12th, that is 2-3 days back, and establish a firm base for launching of 41 Infantry Brigade onto Jaffna. Situation became very critical. It was beyond the scope of a company or a battalion, so a brigade had to be moved in to Jaffna for capture. By about 6 o'clock in the morning on 16th, I reached my place and I was about 500 meters short of the objective. At that time, I heard temple bells ringing and I was wondering to myself, even in the troubled times like this, people are so religious, spiritual minded, their temple program is on. But later I gathered that this ringing of temple bells was a sort of signal for the militants to indicate the move of Indian Army alongside. So, Captain Sharma, who was with me, he saw the LTT militants moving behind us with the weapons. When they warned me, we immediately hit the ground and deployed our medium machine gun and brought a heavy fire on them, because of which they had to disperse. Afterwards, I planned to move ahead to the given objective. I reached that place by about 10:30, and I wanted to scout around, recce the place, and find a suitable place for deploying my men. So accordingly, one junior commissioned officer and another light machine gun number accompanied me, and we went and took position on the bund of the main road, that is the coastal road connecting Concussion to Rai and Jaffna. As we were observing from the front side, a rifle was fired and a bullet hit just on the throat of this LMG number Prabhakar Bayaji Patre. We did not even hear the sound of the bullet, but when his head slumped on the butt of the LMG, I was wondering what happened. When I lifted the head, I saw he was bleeding through the neck, and obviously that was the end of him. Probably he did not even realize what happened to him. So the JCO who was with me, Naik Subedar Kakde, lifted his body and a gun. We retreated to our company position. So that was a place which was surrounded by hedges. Month was October, sort of rainy season, slushy. We had to take cover there only, because further ahead there was no place which would give us adequate cover. This particular place, a field, it gave us cover from the observation, but not from the fire. But all the same, we had to make best of the worst situation. We dug down the trenches and took position. 3 positions on either side, and the company headquarters in the middle of that field. So we waited till evening. By about 6 o'clock, this brigade was expected. In the meanwhile, the LTT who were located in Anaikote village area, they brought down heavy fire on us by medium machine gun and heavy machine gun. And we suffered some casualty. Like I said, did not give protection from the fire. Only because of the trench digging, we were sufficiently covered, but not fully. So I asked for the fire support, and immediately gun helicopters, that is helicopters mounted with machine guns, over above our position and brought down fire on the LTTE positions. This continued from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till about 5, 6 in the evening. And once the dusk set in, the helicopters could not come, and we had held our fire because distance was too much. Our small arms would not be effective. Only medium machine gun would be effective. Moreover, since our job was only for 12 hours, we had carried only first line ammunition or pouch ammunition. That is at a scale of only 100 rounds per rifle, and similarly for carbine, machine gun, light machine gun, etc. Because 6 o'clock the brigade was to land there, and we were to withdraw back to Woodville. At 6 o'clock, when I spoke to my commanding officer asking about the latest, I was only told that the brigade is yet to take off from the mainland, that is India, and their move is being delayed. And till such time they arrive at Anaikote, I had to hold on to the position. I said done. But the problem was, firstly the ammunition, secondly the ration. We are just moved with packed meals, maybe lunch, maybe a dinner, that's all. And we had to hold on in that position for next 2.5, 3 days, till 19th morning, 7 o'clock. So 16th night, as soon as the dusk set in, the militants Four of them approached our position to see what is left of Indian Army in that position, because in the afternoon we had not opened fire. I directed my men not to open fire, and I allowed them to come as close as possible, so that I told the men I would take whatever the action necessary. Before my instructions, nothing will happen. And when these men came within about 20 to 25 yards, I opened fire with my carbine, and two people dropped down. And other two, they just ran away from there. Time was about 7 now. The LTT were far away. They encircled us from all the four sides, and they started making the announcement, surrender, surrender, we'll look after you, now how will come to you. It was a very tricky situation. Surrender was out of question. At the same time, I had to protect my men and a piece of land which we had captured. So I asked for 81mm mortar fire from my battalion. They started firing, but it was slightly out of the range. Maximum range of these mortars are 5,000 meters, and we were beyond 5,000 meters from 8 Maha. So there was a Maratha battalion which was located in Jaffna Fort. So they were asked to give us the fire support. They were within about 3,000 meters from my position, and they gave it very intimate fire support. Similarly, there was one Topkana 831 Light Regiment. They were located though a little far away. They had a longer range and they could support us. The mortar fires started from about 8:30 and continued till about 10:30 to the 11 They fired all around our company position. The fire was so intimate. It was just about 50 meters from our forward edge of our position. If we had to come any closer, probably we ourselves would have been the casualty. Such was the intimacy of this fire, what we call in our army language, save our souls, SOS fire support. So that was the 16th night. In the meanwhile, Colonel Rati, on my request, had dispatched a patrol under Captain Sunil Chandra on 16th night. This patrol of 10 people, led by Captain Sunil Chandra, carried ammunition and some ration for us. After their encounter with the militants, they had come on the same way as we had advanced on 15th night and reached my position by about 6 o'clock, 6 or 7 in the morning. As soon as they came, the ammunition was distributed among all the men, and this platoon also formed part of my defense. In the previous night, the fire which was brought down by Maratha mortars and the 831 Light Regiment were conducted, guided and directed by Captain Dilip Sharma, who had led this company from Jubilee to Naik. He did an excellent job because of this fire control. The danger of that LTT surrounding us warded off. Day 17th continued the same way, intermittent fire from their side, and we could retaliate only with medium machine gun for effect. 17th night, some battalion of 41 Infantry Brigade contacted us on the radio set, asking us for the direction to reach our location. Though we gave necessary direction by fire, elimination, etc., they could not, since they were new to the place, plus they did not have suitable maps. Suitable maps in the sense, we did not go very much short of the maps, without which infantry is unable to find its way. They had only the Xerox copies of the map. Even with the original map, it is somewhat difficult. With the Xerox, it is still more difficult. So 17th night was wasted. They could not reach us. 18th morning, 18th till late in the night, same as 17th and 16th, fire from either side. And on the 19th morning, by about 4 o'clock, Brigadier Manjit Singh, he came on the same route as our battalion had moved on 11th, 12th night from Kankesanturai to Milestone 3 along the coastal road. He came and linked up with me at 4 o'clock in the morning. After reorganizing his forces, he further advanced towards Jaffna for his task. So, the LTT militants' force upon us was somewhat dwindled by now. But in this operation, I had a casualty of 11 men killed and another 26 wounded. All along, because of intensity of fire, we could not get the helicopter down to land in our position and lift the casualty. However, on 19th, on my request to my commanding officer, Colonel Roti, Brigade Commander, Brigadier J.K. Rally, they brought the helicopter while I kept the militants suppressed with my MMG fire. Down came my commanding officer, Brigade Commander, and Deputy GOC, Brigadier Kulwant Singh. Rotors kept running, engine was running. Within minutes, all the 26 casualties were loaded, and immediately the helicopter took off and headed towards our base. Time was by about now was about 5 o'clock, and in the evening, and other two battalions of 41 Infantry Brigade came along the road from Goodwill and took position and they moved forward. Thus, the Battle of Ganapathi ended and we retreated, moved on to a suitable position alongside on the right of the coastal road. Because of these two operations which I fought within a week, say 13th October to 19th October, the battalion, brigade, division headquarters, they rightly recognized the difficult problems we had faced, and a couple of us were awarded. I was awarded Mahavir Chakra, Captain Sul Chandra was awarded Veer Chakra, Haldar Kakafle, who had died in the Marthamana operation, was awarded Veer Chakra, Prabhakar Vijay Patil, who had come with me for the Rekha, he was awarded Veer Chakra. Thus ended my Sri Lankan operation. Now, apart from this, I would like to mention something unforgettable moments of my career in the army, right from the time I joined. I will not take much of time. I know we may be short of time. First was the time between 69 July and June 70. As young officer, as second lieutenant, I was a post commander in Nagaland, subsequently in Manipur. Twice my troops came under the ambush of Naga and Kuki insurgents. As we advanced from place to place, post to post, or village, gathering information, looking for militants, what these people do, they lay the ambush, जिसको हम कहते हैं घात लगा के बैठना. When they see the troops coming within the killing range, mercilessly they open the fire and slaughter. Fortunately, I had maintained very good cordial relationship with the civilians around my post, because of which they had great regard for our men. Partly we also fulfilled their food requirement, etc. Their main attraction was the tea leaves and the salt. Rest everything they had. They were so self-contained. So when they, on these two occasions, when I said, when they realized that we are moving out, they used to know that when you are moving out, when you step out of the company premises. Those people said, sir, hum aapka saath aayenge. So we said, nahin, why you want to come walk all the way? We are going on our mission, on our duty. Nahin sir, hum zarur aayenge. Aapko akela jaane nahi denge. ठीक है, आ जाओ. So both the times they came with us, they were right in the front of the car. What is the catch? When the militants lying in the ambush, they see these civilians, they want to open the fire. Either they withdraw or they lie low. Because they know if they shoot, their one man will be killed. And secondly, these men were also, the villagers, they knew if they open fire on us, the army forces. Am I controlling? Hello, can I continue please?
Yes, sir, yes.
Sorry. So, they would know that if you are disturbed, forces will come in greater measure and trouble them in the villages. So, that was the interest of both sides they had to look after. Second time was December 1976. I was posted in Sikkim with my service of about 8 to 9 years. I was a company commander in snowbound area, high altitude. One of my men walked across the international border. The border, what we call the watershed principle. One side of the hill is India, other side is Chinese. There are also plain places which are not marked by peaks or which are not, the border is not marked. Inadvertently, one of my men walked across the international border. So I was reported by Older Major, who is responsible for maintaining the correct figure of the men as to their location, etc. Came and told me, sir, Sipai so-and-so is missing. He seems to has gone across the border. So I got into some sort of jittery. So immediately I informed my adjutant in the battalion quarters. I told him, sir, this is what has happened. I am going in search of you. Ahead of us, what is there? At a distance of about 5 to 6 kilometers, Chinese post is there. My plan was to walk into the Chinese post and retrieve this boy. That's what I thought. Probably he would have gone there. It was quite a scary situation. Whether we would come back or we would get captured, we would not know. But I had to take the risk. I would not like to leave my man at the mercy across the border. We must have moved about 600 to 800 yards ahead. And immediately from the back, I heard a mountain dog barking. So one of my men accompanying said, so kutta bhonk rahe, jaake dekhe kya ho raha hai. So I said, okay, let's go. We retrieved our steps in the direction of where dog was barking. And what do you find? On a boulder, my man is lying down, bone face down, unconscious. Biting cold. You can really imagine in a high altitude December. Immediately picked him up and went back to the company location. If it were not there for that mountain dog, that man would have been lying there, but myself and my man would have landed in Chinese camp. Whether I would have come back, how would I have come back, that's another story, or anyone can imagine. So that's where I realized destiny is destiny, providence is providence. Third time, it was 7/11/1986, that is my 44th birthday. It was a live drama on the high seas in depression in Bay of Bengal. From Sikkim, I had moved to Belgaum to Arunachal Pradesh to Sikandrabad. This is the time 8 Mahat was part of Amphibian Brigade. Amphibian Brigade means we are to operate along with the Navy. So we used to undergo naval training, sea training, etc. in places like Mangalore, Visakhapatnam, etc. Having completed our training in Visakhapatnam, we had to sail across to Andaman to undergo a training exercise or test exercise. So in the mid-seas, our troops were going by the ships, landing ship, transport or troops, INS Kesari, INS Mahesh, and one more ship. The headquarters of the battalion our naval headquarters was located in the larger ship, which is known as mothership. So, on 7th, we were to land in Andamans and push ahead for our training exercise. For this, detailed briefing was to be done by my commanding officer, and he was expected to come from mothership to our ship by the helicopter, land there, and brief us and get back. But the Bay of Bengal, because the depression was so choppy, helicopters neither could take off nor could think of landing on our ship. So I was asked to move from my ship to mothership by a rubber boat, what they call Jubilee. This is controlled by 2 or 3 naval sailors, and as company commander, I had to get in and go. I'm a non-swimmer. Of course, the life jacket is there. Even with the life jacket, if I drop into the Bay of Bengal, God knows whether I would have been rescued or not. Anyway, I had to do the job. I had a job to do. I got in and sailed across for about half an hour up, half an hour down. I received the instructions, my commanding officer, and came back. It was an unforgettable moment on my that birthday. 1 minute the Gemini would go deep into the water. You can see nothing, water all around. Next moment you are on top of the hillock sort of thing. The waves will push you up so much, You can see all around clear. Everything is in depression, that sort of situation. Anyway, that was done. Now, finally coming to the SOS of 16/10/87. Like I told you already, the intimate fire support what we received as close as 50 meters from our company position. We could have been the casualty, but as company commander, I had to take the decision to accomplish my task. There was no looking back, there was no going back. So that was the time. Such are my unforgettable moments in my career. There are so many few also, but most important are these. With this, I come to the end of my talk. If there are any questions, I'm ready to take on, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experience with us. The more I read about the events of that time and the more I listen to you, the more I'm in awe of the courage and determination that you and your team have shown throughout your years in the army. And I sincerely hope that all of us present here would be inspired by you and learn to exhibit even at least an ounce of that courage in our own lives when we face adversities. Thank you so much, sir, for inspiring us with your words.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Our next speaker today is Mrs. Rekha Singh, widow of Naik Deepak Singh Veer Chakra. Rekha Ma'am hails from Rewa, Madhya Pradesh and is a teacher under the MP government. Always having aspired to be a teacher, Rekha Ma'am pursued her integrated BSc and B.Ed from Regional Institute of Education, Bhopal, and later MSc in Physics from DU University, Bhopal. She first worked as a postgraduate teacher at Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya for 3 years and later joined as a postgraduate teacher with the MP government. She hails from a highly educated family of 6 sisters. Rekha Ma'am became the proud wife of late Naik Deepak Singh in 2019. Naik Deepak Singh joined the army in the year 2012 and received his first posting in Jammu, where he worked for 2 years. Few months after his marriage, he was posted in 16th Bihar Regiment and was at our borders as a nursing assistant during the Galwan Valley skirmish last year. He provided treatment to casualties amidst heavy attack from the opposition and moved to the front line to administer first aid to the injured soldiers, in spite of him being injured himself. He saved the lives of almost 30 Indian soldiers, but succumbed to his own injuries on 16th June 2020. He was awarded Veer Chakra for his unflinching devotion to the nation and his duty. I request everyone present here to kindly observe a minute's silence in his remembrance. Rekha Ma'am's unwavering voice as she recounted her story to me is a reflection of the strength of the nation's Veer Naris. With honor, I would like to invite Ma'am to speak a few words.
Good afternoon to one and all. Is an audible?
Good afternoon. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, I am in school, so here network problem is there. So I think there is some network issue. So first of all, I would like to Principal Ma'am for inviting me in such a great event, and I am feeling very happy that your college is conducting such kind of event, because from such kind of events, families like us who has lost everything, so we are getting so much strength from such kind of events, and the honor which you are providing to us.
Thank you for being there. Thank you for being there.
My husband, he was. Thank you, ma'am. And my husband, Naik, nursing assistant Deepak Singh, he was working as a nursing assistant, and he was attached to the 16th Bihar Regiment on CAP 2019. Sorry, it's on CAP 2020, and during that he posted in Leh, and he has given his life on 15th June 2020 during a conflict between India and China. And he was, at that time, he was serving as a battalion nursing assistant, and he saved life of more than 30 soldiers. And for this, he was awarded with Veer Chakra in 26th Jan 2021. And I'm really feeling very proud that my husband has done such a great job. But the moment when I listened this news, I was really out of my mind, because my life has changed after that news. Because just after 6.5 months of my marriage, I became Veer Nari from a bride. So it was really very shocking news for me, and my life, what can I say? After that, I am facing so much challenges from our society, and I think here lots of girls and women are there. So I think you all can imagine that after that, in our society, as we all study in our history, that what a lady, what a widow have to handle or face situation in a society. So all that things, nothing has changed in our society from that era to present. There are so much orthodox are present in our society till now, and whatever are there, and I am facing so much challenges. There are so many kind of orthodox. People are thinking that all these things has happened just because of me, because just after 6.5 months, these all things has happened. So it is very difficult situation in front of me, and I am handling all these things with courage and with strength. And being a Veer Nari, and whatever I am facing at present, I just want to say all the girls that be strong. Always and always be empowered, and always get education, because education is the one thing which will help always, and our knowledge and our qualification is that which will stand with us for lifelong, because in life we don't know what will happen in our life, because our life is unpredictable. Anytime, any challenge can come in front of us, and we have to face that challenge. And if we will become weak, then in present situation, people are always there to misuse you. And if you will become emotional and weak, then the people will misuse and they will take advantage of your emotions. So I just want to say all the girls that never be emotional and never be weak. Be always strong and always ready to challenge any kind of situation, so that take advantage from you. And whatever is happening in present time, I'm just trying to say that you all are studying and you are, after that you all will get married and you don't know what kind of situation you will face in your life. So you should always be strong and take your decisions by your own mind. Don't give chance to take anyone to take decisions of your lives. You should always be independent and always you should take your decisions of your life by your own and be strong. Thank you. And I would like to thank at last ma'am for inviting me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think when you delivered your speech, the strength in your voice was a reflection of the courage that you hold within yourself. And you said education is the way to empower the women in the society, and this couldn't be any more truer. And your words have really touched us. I would like to tell everyone present here that when I was talking to ma'am before the event, she said this one thing, and she said, while she was recounting all her problems, she said to me, no matter what, I'm not somebody to be affected by the adversities around me, and I will go forward. I would like to, with your kind permission, Rekha ma'am, I would like to tell everyone that ma'am is attempting to join the Indian Army herself. And I don't have words to, I just don't have words. Thank you so much, ma'am, for inspiring us. Thank you.
I request Vaishnavi Pillai to introduce our guest of honor.
Colonel Vardhan Sharma Sir is 1980 batch infantry officer from Mahar Regiment, an alumni of Delhi University, Madras University, Indian Military Academy and Defence Service Staff College. He commanded an Assam Rifles Battalion at Mon district of Nagaland. Sir has served in Army for 27 years and took his early retirement in 2007 and has worked in different organizations in various capacities. In civil, he worked in education sector with Army Placement Organization and PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry. In APO, he facilitated jobs to over 5,000 ex-servicemen. He is into social service since 2015 and is National President of Veterans India, an NGO to spread patriotism across the country. His latest endeavor is to make podcasts on gallantry award winners, that is Paramveer Chakra, Mahavir Chakra, Veer Chakra, Ashok Chakra, Shaurya Chakra and Kirti Chakra. The series is named Bharat Ke Veer and can be accessed on ZFM podcast app, Spotify, Ghana, JioSaavn, Google and Apple podcast apps. So far, 9 episodes have been made and many more yet to come. Now I humbly request Colonel Vardhan Sharma Sir to deliver the keynote address and guide us.
Thank you so much. I want to express my deep gratitude and thanks to Dr. Vijay Patil for bringing me on this platform and address all of you. My salute to Chief Guest, Dr. Gaikwad, DLLE Coordinator, Dr. Patil, Principal of your school, Dr. Rele, and Dr. Vijay Patil Sir, who is so kind and is really a very good friend. And all of you, I wish you all the best, and I hope that in this difficult time of Corona, you all are safe, all your family members are safe. Firstly, please take care of that, because Corona is also a war. And we can fight this war only by remaining at a home and going out when it is absolutely unavoidable. So this war also we have to win. Now my topic is very, very vast. I would, before I take on to that, my salute to Ganapathi Sir and Mrs. Rekha Singh, Tara Sir and Both if he's here. You would be surprised that you were talking of this podcast, and I'm very, very lucky. I'm grateful to God that I was able to make podcast on Ganapathi as well as on Mrs. Rekha Singh and Colonel Ashok Thara and Colonel Gautam Bhuth. If you download Red FM podcast app and look for Bharat Ke Veer series, you can hear their episodes, all their experiences. It is available to everybody. Besides the podcast app, the podcast is also broadcasted on all Red FM. I think there are 71 Red FM stations every week on Monday at 11 a.m. So one can hear the direct broadcast also. My topic is very vast. It is talking about the Indian Defence Forces since Independence Day, 75, which is a very, very long time. And I can see that we are short of time. So I will try and tell you only the important things, because I think the aim of the webinar has been achieved. Of Ganapathi and the strength and the courage being exhibited by Mrs. Rekha Singh, I think your aim of webinar has already been achieved. What I am going to talk is only of academic interest. The aim has been achieved. Thank you so much, Ganapathi Sir and Mrs. Rekha. Your words are so inspiring. You know, one gets goosebumps listening to the actual things which you have done in your life. The aim of webinar is to educate students and the people who are going to watch it subsequently also, that the kind of sacrifices which are being made by the Indian Defence Forces. That is the aim. So, Colonel Ganapathi, as you all know, has been awarded Mahaveer Chakra for his valor and gallantry. And you would be also very surprised to know it is not easy to get a Mahaveer Chakra. It is very, very difficult. Since independence, in so many wars, till date, only 218 soldiers have been awarded Mahaveer Chakra. And if I talk of Paramveer Chakra, there are only 21 Paramveer Chakra awardees till date. So you can imagine how difficult it is to get a gallantry award. And Naik Deepak is unique. He is from Army Medical Corps. There is no business for him to be sitting in front and, you know, looking after the wounded. He can do staying in the unit also. But he went there, looked after the soldiers who were wounded, and I must share with you that he also, because the Galwan conflict happened on a cliff kind of a thing where fighting was going on, people were falling down. I don't know, 100, 200, 300 feet, they were falling down. Somebody's head was open, somebody had fractured, somebody had something. So this man, look at his greatness. He also gave first aid to the Chinese soldiers who were wounded. Can there be a bigger example of humanity? He gave first aid to those people. That is the greatness of this man. I mean, one gets, you know, though I am from army, but I'm a human being. I get tears in my eyes hearing and saying these things, that what kind of brave soldiers, great soldiers we have in our forces. Now, as I said that my talk is more or less academic interest, so I will just touch upon two very, very major aspects which you will not generally hear about our defense forces. First, I want to tell you something about the IN, Azad Hind Force, which you all must have heard. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was associated with INA. It was raised by Captain Mohan Singh to begin with. And these people were taken as prisoners by Japan, by the Japanese army. And Japanese wanted to use them against Indian forces only. And Captain Mohan Singh was the leader to begin with. The Japanese had agreed that they will treat Indian soldiers at par with Japanese soldiers. They will get the same facilities, same salaries, everything. However, it was not being done, so Captain Mohan Singh left, and that is the time when Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose also reached Singapore and took charge of this force and motivated the entire army of about 60,000 soldiers. Tum mujhe khoon do, main tumhe azadi दूंगा. And the other slogan was Dilli Chalo. So people were motivated and they fought. They fought for the freedom of the country. But can somebody imagine the plight of a soldier? I am from Ten Mahar. That's my unit. I have become a prisoner of Japanese and I have joined Indian National Army. Say Colonel Ganapathi is also from Ten Mahar. He is still with the unit. And the Indian National Army is fighting where Ten Mahar is fighting against us. Imagine I am firing at Colonel Ganapathi and Colonel Ganapathi is firing at me. What kind of dilemma those soldiers would have undergone? They're fighting their own brothers, own soldiers in the same unit. They were together few days back, few months back. They were brought up together, they were trained together. What kind of mental strength they had that for the sake of the freedom of the country, they were ready to fire at their own comrades, unheard of, their own brothers. Recently, I saw that movie, the Forgotten Army. It was recently released on the OTT platform. Many of you might have seen it. But they have kind of fictionalized the whole thing. But when I think of this, that out of that 60,000 army, 26,000 people were killed. Nobody talks about that. And very unfortunate, even after independence, they were not taken back into Indian Army as they were treated as rebels. The case was there. They were tried at Red Fort, the famous trial. They were never given any pension. They were never given any awards. It's very heart-rending to think about those soldiers. Let me tell you, many of you would know, but most of you would know that on 21st October 1943, Netaji had declared independence of India. From Singapore, Andaman Nicobar was the capital of that time because Andaman Nicobar was with Japanese, so that was given to INA, and he raised the Indian national flag there. The government was declared. They had their currency. I think about 10 to 12 nations had even given recognition to this government. But at that time, the politicians and nobody supported him. He was never supported. We, on 21st October 2018, there was some survivor of Indian National Army, and you will be surprised to know about 7-8 of them, and their youngest was 90-year-old, and the oldest was 109-year-old. And these soldiers always had one desire in their heart, that like the Paramveer Chakra awardees are in the first jeep or the second jeep, which is paraded on Republic Day on Rajpath from Vijay Chowk to India Gate, they had a desire that we should also be taken in an open jeep and we should be given that honor. So we did that on 21st October 2018, which was the platinum jubilee of the independence declared by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. They were there in the open jeeps and we honored them, and they were very happy. There were tears in their eyes that our one desire of so many years has been fulfilled. And you'll be happy to know that in 2019, the government decided and they were part of the Republic difference. So much about the INA. The second thing which is not known to very many people is that after United Nations came into being, they have been carrying out large number of peacekeeping operations. You'll be surprised to know that more than 2 lakh Indian soldiers have participated in these peacekeeping forces. And I have the figures, I think, out of the 71 peacekeeping mission till date, India has participated in 49 peacekeeping missions. And we have had many casualties. Many casualties. One of our officers had been awarded Paramveer Chakra in fighting there, in Captain Harjeet Singh. Till date, we have more than 160 people who have been martyred under United Nations flag. Nobody knows about it. Even now, we are taking part in about 7-8 missions at Lebanon, Congo, Sudan, Golan Heights, Ivory Coast, Haiti, Liberia. That is also our defense forces are doing. Now, very briefly, let me tell you that in what happened in 1947 was partition of the country, and the forces were also divided accordingly between India and Pakistan. Otherwise, by the time Second World War finished, the Indian defense forces were 2.5 million strong. And Britishers were in a hurry to dismantle, to send them home as early as possible because they couldn't afford to keep that large army after the war was over. And also the strength was so much that they were very scared that if these people get after us, they will not survive here. Actually, it is the Navy mutiny and the Air Force mutiny which happened that they were so scared. There are communication going from Delhi to London that let us leave as early as possible, otherwise not a single Britishers will be left alive. It was the sacrifices of these INA soldiers, these serving soldiers who revolted against these people, and they were not in a position to at all to control them, that they decided to leave us, to so-called, give us independence. Otherwise, it was supposed to be 1948. It was advanced because they were so scared after. So, forces were divided in 1947, and there were states who had their state forces. Those forces were also merged with the Indian Defence Forces. And it was a great honor to be part of the Indian Defence Forces. A lot of kings and princes of various states, Maharaja of Patiala, like present Chief Minister of Punjab, Captain Amrinder Singh, Jaipur, Prince Brigadier Bhavani Singh, General Rajendra Singh. There was any number of people from the royal families, so-called royal families, and so-called blue blood people. It was a great honor to serve in the defense forces, and they were the people who were joining the defense forces in the beginning. However, on the other side, the national scenario was such that the then Prime Minister was not at all wanted to keep any army. There are reports that he asked the British General to put up a plan to dismantle the complete Indian army. And the General was shocked. So he said, Mr. Prime Minister, are you serious? And the then Prime Minister didn't say anything, so it didn't happen. But what happened was that in 1950, in Pakistan, the military took over the country. May I request, can we put everyone on hold, on mute, otherwise you will not be able to hear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, when the Pakistan general, I think Skindar Mirza was the one who became the president and the head of the state, the then government and the bureaucrats and everybody, they even became more anti-defense forces. When I say anti means, they didn't want to give any importance. They wanted that the then political leaders were being told that same thing will happen in India. Here also this kind of thing will happen. Whereas Indian Army has a very, very great tradition, great generals. Of course, in a democracy, the forces will be under the political system and the parliament is supreme. So even the Indian forces come under the parliament and are ruled by or governed by the supreme commander, who is the president of the country. However, this thing continued. There was no effort on modernization or providing good weapons, equipment, clothing. Nothing was being done. Then happened 1962. The Chinese gave us, if I may use the word, they slapped us so badly that the eyes of the entire nation and the then political leadership opened. That it is a blunder if we are not modernizing our forces, if we are not providing them weapons. Can you imagine fighting in those so-called canvas shoes, PT shoes in high altitude? That is what our soldiers have done in 1962. So I will call this as one half, the first half of the Indian Defence Forces growth and development, where nothing happened. In fact, they deteriorated badly. But 62 war was a great lesson, and I don't mind saying thanks to China that they opened our eyes. And then the political leadership started taking interest in modernizing and equipping and giving weapons to the forces. And very soon the other test came in 1965. Fortunately, we had a Prime Minister like late Mr. Lal Bahadur Shastri, who gave the nara of Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, and who stood with the defense forces. And we had a lot of gains in 65 war. It's unfortunate that in the Tashkent agreement, all those gains were kind of just thrown away. The agreement was to go back to the before the war locations. Anyway, but that did help in regaining the morale of the Indian Defence Forces, and the development, the evolution of the forces continued. The professionalism started coming in a big way, and the epitome of this professionalism and gallantry and valor of Indian Defence Forces was seen in the 13-day war of 1971, India-Pakistan. This has never happened, where in a 13-day war, the theatre commander, General Niaji, with 95,000 soldiers, surrendered. This kind of surrender never happened except in the Second World War. The largest ever surrender like that. In just 13 days, that was the kind of professionalism. I am told that it was in March when General Manekshaw, then General Manekshaw, later on Field Marshal Manekshaw, who was the chief of the army staff, was asked by the Prime Minister and the Defence Minister in the, the highest committee which takes decisions in our current political setup is the Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs, CCP. So all these leaders were there, and General Manekshaw was called and he was asked to prepare for war, to go for war. And he refused. He told Prime Minister, Madam, if you want me to win the war, give me time. Because now the monsoon will start, the rivers will be flooding and we will not reach anywhere. I will fight at the right time, at the right place. Fortunately, he was given that time and we did whatever was required. And in simple 13 days, we had created a new nation. The Bangladesh came into being, thanks to India. A new nation was created. That was I would say, the most glorious moment of the Indian Defence Forces since independence. Now the irony is that whatever gains were made by the Indian Defence Forces in the war were again thrown away at the political level. In Shimla Agreement, when Mr. Bhutto came to India and Mrs. Gandhi was there, whatever gains we had made in the war was simply just given. And what hurts me, what pains me, and many times I have tears thinking of this, that we returned there 95,000 prisoners. But there are reports that 54 of our prisoners were there with Pakistan, which till date we have no details about. God alone knows whether they are alive or they are dead. There are reports and communications that they've tried to communicate with their families and their kith and kin. But no government bothered about those 54 prisoners. It's very sad, very, very sad. Sri Lanka is another example. Another country, they have their internal problem. The Liberation Tiger of Tamil Eelam wants a separate country. They want to separate out from Sri Lanka. There is the Sinhalese government. Mr. Javardhan is the president and Prabhakaran is the chief of LTT. They are fighting. We interfere. We become the big brother. And we go there to make LTT surrender, lay down their arms. But when we go there, they are not willing to lay down their arms. If they are giving some weapons, they are rusted, not non-functional type weapons. So, and they start fighting. So we get into a fight which is not for our country, not for our people, not of our making, and we get involved in it without preparation, without, as Sir was saying, we didn't even have maps. How will you go? Where will you go if you don't have map? You are in a foreign land. But we were made to fight. Otherwise, we should have simply come back. That we came as a peacekeeping force, not to fight you. You don't want to surrender, don't surrender. We are going back. Nobody stopped them. But I don't know what should we call it, political immaturity or whatever it is. We fought. And you know for how long? Close to 4 years. We came in 1990 when the government was changed and the new Prime Minister came, Mr. VP Singh. And the biggest irony is by that time, fighting to LTT people, the Indian Army had learned its lesson and we were defeating them from one place to other place we were capturing. And it was just a matter of time that we would have routed LTT. But then that political immaturity comes. That we were not given time to achieve our aim. We were prematurely we were asked to withdraw. What grave injustice to the soldier who has died there fighting in the name of our country, and we are about to win. Then you say no, come back. And then you forget all of it. You know, most of the Sri Lankan veterans who are alive today have this grudge that this is one operation, one war, which nobody remembers. In fact, recently the head of the force, that time General Kalkat, A.S. Kalkat, he met along with some veterans of the Sri Lankan war at Delhi at the National War Memorial, just to pay their respect to these soldiers who were there in Sri Lanka. No, this kind of program which you are doing is a very, very wonderful thing. At least you people will know, those who are listening to this webinar, who would watch it later on YouTube or wherever possible, they would know that how ungrateful we are to these soldiers who give their life for us. You know how many people died in Sri Lanka? 1138 people died in Sri Lanka. 2,762 soldiers were wounded in Sri Lanka. Who cries for them except their own kith? 71 war. 3,900 soldiers laid down their life. more than 10,000 people were wounded in Sri Lanka in 1917. '65 war, 2,862 soldiers died and more than 8,000 were wounded. '62 war, almost 1,400 were killed and 1,047 injured. Coming to the latest, the Kargil war in 1999, 527 soldiers were killed and 1,300 were wounded. And I have not mentioned about that we were sucked into war soon after independence. The Pakistanis attacked us. They wanted to take over J&K. We were fortunate that we could land tanks and save the Srinagar airport. Otherwise, they would have just taken over the entire J&K. They had reached up to Baramulla. Our first Paramveer Chakra came in that operation. Major Somnath Sharma of Fort Mount. And that operation also, which lasted from 47 to 49 January, 1,104 soldiers laid down their life and 3,154 were wounded. I have done this tabulation. Total till date, 10,913 soldiers have laid down their life. And almost 27,000 people have been wounded. And you know, the disabled are lead a even worse life than those who have martyred, you know. Because when they grow old, there is nobody to look after. And thousands of them go missing. There are no whereabouts. In war, it happens. Their body is not found. Or they are made prisoners by enemy and they are not released. Nobody comes to them. But Kargil was a great example of the young leadership, the junior leadership. Like rare are the likes of Captain Vikram Batra, Paramveer Chakra awardee from Kargil War. Recently, you had a movie on him called Sher Shah. You might have seen some of you. He was named Sher Shah by Pakistanis only. Imagine the kind of, the youth leadership we have in Indian Army. But don't get worried, and I do not want to paint a dismal picture of the things. Things are looking up. Things are much better now. The modernization and, provision of new weapons, new equipment, state-of-the-art technology is going on now for past few years. You all have heard of Rafale joining our Air Force, the submarines and the other ships joining us. They are very healthy, good sign of what is happening. And the best part is that besides providing the state-of-the-art weapons and technology, along with that, indigenization is taking place, which is a very important thing, so that we do not remain dependent on the weapon suppliers and equipment suppliers from abroad. We can manufacture them in our own country. So, Indian Defence Forces are undergoing restructuring and modernization, and they are battle-hardened and respected all over the world, let me tell you. The biggest example is last year's Galwan skirmish. China kind of probed Indian Army last year. However, the swift and effective action by the Indian Army came as a big surprise, not only to China, but to the entire world. Because nobody thought that we will retaliate so badly. And there are reports that many soldiers of much more than our soldiers, kind of died on the other side. But China is a closed country. The media is not have that permission. We will never come to know the exact truth. So that, ईंट का जवाब पत्थर से was so, in such a brutal form that everybody was really shocked. And in any case, no country or nation can survive in the modern world without having strong defense forces. Imagine, our country is 1.36 billion people and our borders has 15,200 kilometers of borders, including 3,488 with China and 3,323 with Pakistan. So how can you survive without strong defense forces? But good thing is that we are getting adequate funds and the situations seem to be much better than what used to be. However, the latest Afghanistan developments do give us a point to think about. What else? But there is positivity, let me tell you, in the environment. The political leadership is much mature and much better than what it used to be. I would only like to say, I'm coming close to my whatever I wanted to tell you, my topic, but I want to say that please remember always that freedom has got free word in it, but it is not free. Like anything else, it has to be maintained, and that maintenance cost is very, very heavy in case of freedom. It's almost one soldier every day. Between 300 to 400 defense forces people give the ultimate sacrifice to maintain this freedom for the country, for these citizens of this country. I only look forward to that respect for that soldier, nothing else. If that respect is there, which was said in a very, very most beautiful way, it was said by I think the poet is Makhanlal Chaturvedi. This poem is called Pushp Ki Abhilasha. I will not say the complete poem. I'll only say the 4 line. Mujhe tod lena vanmali. What a flower is wanting, what is his desire? That is what is depicted in this poem, Pushp Ki Abhilasha. So the flower is telling the gardener, Mujhe tod lena vanmali. उस पद पर देना तुम फेंक, मातृभूमि पर शीश चढ़ाने, जिस पद जाए वीर अनेक. This is what a soldier wants, कि जहां पर हमारे सैनिक जा रहे हैं मुझे उस रास्ते पे बिछा देना. और पोइम में आता है कि मुझे ना किसी सुंदरी का गजरा बनना है, ना किसी राजा के समाधि पे अर्थी पे चढ़ना है, ना किसी देवता के सर पे चढ़ना है. That is the poem. And in the end the flower says कि मुझे उस रास्ते पर फेंक. So that kind of respect if we can have as soldiers, I think the aim of this webinar will be more than achieved. We should never forget them. It should not only happen that when Galwan takes place, when Pulwama takes place, that we remember them. If you are making a prayer every day, isn't it? Most of you. Please pray for that soldier also who is standing on Siachen Glacier, who is standing on the border, who is guarding you 24 hours. Whether it is snowing, raining, constantly his life is under threat. So my only humble request is, remember that you are living in this free India because of these people. Just remember them. Once again, I'm very, very grateful to the organizers for giving me this opportunity. And my salute to the war heroes and Veer Nari in the show. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind and encouraging words. Also, thank you for sharing the incredible experiences and vast knowledge with us. I would now like to request Nalanda Nrityakala to introduce respected Dr. Dilip Patil Sir.
Thank you, Devika. Namaste to all. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce today's special guest, Dr. Dilip Patil Sir, Coordinator, Department of Lifelong Learning and Extension, University of Mumbai. Dr. Dilip Patil Sir has worked as Director of DLLE for more than 14 years, and under his guidance, DLLE unit has completed activities in 314 degree colleges from 7 districts. Sir has also worked with Ayush Ministry, Government of India, in distributing 15,500 bottles of arsenic album 30 medicine in 7 districts. Currently, he is representing Asia on board for Community Development Society, which is a non-profit organization from USA. He was also awarded with International Community Development Award by CDS USA. Sir has completed his education of Masters and Doctorate in Rural Development and also has LLB degree from University of Mumbai. 16 MPhil students and 15 PhD students have successfully completed their degrees under his valuable guidance. Sir was working as Assistant Professor in Rural Development and Community Development at GJ College, Vasai, and later he was appointed as a Principal at St. Joseph College. Sir has 15 books to his credential. He has successfully represented India in many international conferences held in different countries. He has worked on panel of different committees of University of Mumbai like Senate, Academic Council, Board of the Studies and many more. List is never ending, but I would like to conclude my speech with one sentence that we are very fortunate to have his support and guidance in all DLLE activities conducted by college. Thank you so much, sir, for everything. I would like to request sir to please speak few words.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Nanda. Thank you, Umaji, and thanks for giving me opportunity to interact with all of you. This military or army is my I'm living in that because I want to first introduce about that. I'm always in my biodata or CV. I always mention I'm from the army military family because from my mother's side, my grandfather, my grandfather, my mother's father, all are in army for last more than 100 years. They are from the Kolhapur district, and my grandfather from mother's side, he earlier worked in Rajaram Rifles. Our well-known guest, they knows about this Rajaram Rifles in Kolhapur, which was converted into 19 Maratha. Head office is Belgaum. And my two uncle, Mama, they also ex-serviceman, retired from Indian Army. My father, 3rd Maratha, he was Havaldar Major, then worked for, recruited in 1941 until work up to 73. Last 10 years tenure, he worked in NCC in Mumbai for various colleges as a JCO, Junior Commission Officer, because in 1965, he because of wounded soldier, not fit for, he become a B category and not fit for the border. So he sent back to his city to, but in army, NCC only, 3rd Maharashtra Battalion. So all my family members, my one uncle, just now our Colonel Sir told that there are 54 missing our soldiers. That out of 54, I hope one, my uncle, real uncle, is in that. Since 1971, we are waiting for him. Since 1971, Subedar Major Vishnu Patil at the Bangladesh border, he fought for 7th Maratha, and we don't know till now. His light machine gun was there in the Pakistan when we covered all them at Bangladesh border. So like that, there are thousands of thousands our people, and my native place is near the Panhala Fort in Kolhapur district. So in each, whenever something happened at border, out of that Shahuwadi village or Panhala village or in Kolhapur district, we are worried because the young boys from our villages, we are waiting for the truck coming from the border with the body of that Shahid Jawan. I experienced that. It is okay that listening and reading and writing on TV we are showing and giving praise, okay, very sad news and like that. At the same time, those who are helping other countries for killing our soldiers, we are going to see their movies. At the same time, so we are with whom? Those who are killing our soldiers. We are giving them money to provide our enemy countries. Because I suffered. My father was wounded soldier. He died in 93. I lost my uncle. I hope he will be there in that 54 prisoners. So this young generation should know about all these things. That is okay. No doubt about that. How they are living, how they are eating, what they are doing. That is okay. Because I suffer. I seen that. My father, my uncle, my grandfather. And now also I am looking for that. Everybody is having that. You know the history. But what about what you can give us solution? That is a question in each of one in your mind. Like we use the widow. Don't use widow word for that virangana. अगर वो विडो नहीं होती तो हमारे में से 1000 विडो होते थे. Because of her, she is widow, we saved our life. 1000 विडो होने से बच गई. This is a fact, and nobody will tell this fact. She always telling, be courageous, because that is a one, okay, fighting at border against the enemy. When these Viranganas are staying nearby villages, they are fighting with the relatives, they are fighting with their Maike people, they are fighting with their in-laws' house because they received money. And there are fight between the relatives. Everybody has come to snatch that money from these widows. I seen the brother of one soldier who lost their life there. हर महीने में 1 तारीख को पेंशन निकालने के लिए भाई का आते हैं, माँ को लेके रिक्शा से लेके आते हैं, साइन लेते हैं, पेंशन कलेक्ट करते हैं और माँ को छोड़ देते हैं, जाओ बस एसटी बस से. This is a fact I seen from my eyes. Second thing about those who are Viranganas, whom to believe, whom to keep faith on their real brother or in-laws brother. Because when money is there and small kids are in there with that lady, and I'm talking this for the lower grade officers, Shipai, Naik, last Naik, Havaldar, because they are not educated that much compared to officers, commission officers. Commission officers are less, but they are educated, their families are educated. And they knows the rules, regulation, benefits, facilities, schemes, everything they knows. They are going to collect that beneficiaries. They are filling their forms. But these POs, the Sipai, Sainik, Jawans, last Naik, Havaldar, their families, they are illiterate. They don't know what to do. When I lost my uncle and my father, after 6 months, the government declared died like that, even though missing. So they declared, then the government gave us, my father was in army, so he knows the little bit rules and regulation. We asked for the agricultural land. So villagers took objection on that. How you can take land from us? Next village. So my father told, he gave his life for India, not for one village. So any part of India, he can go and he can collect he will get a land. And these are thousands of cases, unknown. Media will not reach to them. So I personally feel, I talk with Vijay Patil Sir, that our students, they should go nearby banks, wherever they stay. Don't go to rural areas like that. Ask that bank manager, between every month 1st to 10, any ex-servicemen are coming there to fill the form. Whether they know the scheme, everything is on website. Just help them to understand. To understand what are the benefits. There is a ministry at state level. That Viranganas don't know about the ministry. Because after she lost her husband in the family, all in-laws, they take it granted that she will become a labor in her house. How you can change? This is okay. On 15 August and 26 January, we are playing the songs. And we are clapping. What about the real families at grassroots level? How many of you, majority of these Shahids are from Raigad district and from Kolhapur district, Satara district and Sangli district? Are you ready to go there for 1 week to find out the fact? Because of the pressure from the family, that alone young lady don't want to open her mouth. Because you will collect information and you come back. So that is our duty. To create awareness about these thousands and thousands people who gave their life. There are a number of families. They are waiting for the guidance. I lost my brother-in-law, my sister's husband. He was in police. Due to terrorist attack, he lost in 92 in Mumbai police as a sub-inspector. Because of my father's experience, my father told me in 92 that, see, these are the things, you have to help your sister. And that Shahid Patni, we can say instead of widow, Shahid Patni. So I run everywhere to the ministry, then so many places and like that. Now my sister, since 2009, when my brother-in-law Shahid, 1st July 92, and when she got a benefit of petrol pump, February 2009. Just calculate how many years. After 16 years, because I am educated, I know this scheme, even though these things. She applied in 2004. She means I only applied. And now she is running on Pune-Mumbai Expressway. She got a petrol pump, and that petrol pump, 24 hours, please visit that petrol pump. There is a big picture of my brother-in-law and my father in army uniform on that petrol pump. And that is the best petrol pump in Maharashtra. Single lady running that petrol pump. Fourth one, Indian Oil, Prakash Expressway. When we are coming to from Pune to Mumbai, at Mumbai toll Naka, just before 2 kilometers, just see the left side, there is the Prakash Expressway where Coffee Day, McDonald and Datta Snacks, all that campus. And she alone, a lady staying there on petrol pump and managing 50 people, 24 hours. This is the Shahid Vinarangana. So I don't want to take much time because already is 45 minutes late. I hope if I say something wrong, I have to give, please give me my apology for that. But this is from my heart. I'm talking with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Namaste everyone present here. Special invitee Dr. Baliram Gaikwad Sir, Honorable Chief Guest Dr. Dilip Patil Sir, esteemed guest of honor Colonel Vardhan Sharma Sir, distinctive guests Colonel P.S. Ganapathi Sir, Colonel Ashok Tara Sir, and Veer Nari Rekha Singh Ji. It's my privilege to get the opportunity to thank all the dignitaries on behalf of the DLLE unit of Nalanda Nrityakala Mahavidyalaya. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our special invitee, Dr. Baliram Gaikwad Sir, for his valuable presence. I'm extremely thankful to Colonel Vardhan Sharma Sir for taking out time from his busy schedule and accepting our invitation and delivering the keynote message. We would love to continue our association for years with you. I'm grateful to our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Dilip Patil Sir, for granting us the association to organize this event. You always inspire and motivate us to set apex standards. I extend my gratitude to our distinctive guest, Colonel P.S. Ganapathi Sir, for encouraging us with your stories. We would never have come across the disastrous and legally hazardous experiences what Indian Defence Armies face. I thank Veer Nari Rekha Singh Ji for sharing her inspirable story. We are always with you and for you as your kinfolk. I would like to thank Colonel Ashok Tara Sir for his valuable presence. I am greatly thankful to our respected principal, Dr. Srimati Rele Ma'am, for providing immense support to make this an extremely successful event. I am also thankful to Rahul Rele Sir for his immense support. I would like to thank the respected faculty members and the Students' Committee of DLLE. A special thanks to student coordinators, Simran Cherayal, Dr. Nalanda Nrityakala, Vaishnavi Pillai, Vaishnavi Gaure, Devika Rao, Shefali Wadekar, and our core team for their valuable contribution. Also, a special thanks to Vignesh Dada and Prasad Sir for technical support. A special thanks to Srimati Vaidehi Rele Lal for spreading the word with the students, parents, staff, and faculty members. Last but not the least, to our audience for lending us your precious time and years and contributing towards making this event a grand success. I would like to express my gratitude to all the esteemed delegates of the webinar for their presence and contribution. Thank you everyone once again for making it a great success. Namaste.